It's become abundantly clear that Donald Trump wants everyone to see just how little he actually cares about the public. This is the same man who ran a campaign pretending to prioritize affordability, only to start his administration by driving costs up, and now dismisses questions about affordability just days after an election where winning candidates ran on that very issue. Trump doesn't care if people are struggling or going hungry. In fact, the pain serves his purpose. The cruelty is deliberate. And protecting his ties to Jeffrey Epstein is part of the reason behind it. This is also why Trump was rushed away after one of the most disastrous posts of his career, backfiring in the midst of a shutdown he cannot control and a narrative he cannot win. We're going to break it all down. But before we dive in, if you enjoy this channel, please leave a like and subscribe, as it really helps support our work. Now, before we get to Trump's ill-fated post and the immediate backlash, let's start with someone who has thoroughly explained the latest on this shutdown, why Trump is hiding, and everything you need to know, and that's Jasmine Crockett right here.
They have her to say she's rep-elect, but there's nothing she can do. She can't log into systems. She barely is in an office, so she can't be opening cases so that once the government opens, that her staff can kind of deal with those things. It is really sad. And here's the other kicker to this, right? Let's say, you know, our speaker decided to grow a spine and actually go ahead and swear in Rep-elect Grijalva. Well, ultimately, that means that we have the 218 signatures that we need for the discharge petition. But since we still aren't in session, it's not like a bill can come to the floor. Like, we have no bills that are hitting the floor anyway. So ultimately, like, those two things are going to happen at the same time, no matter what. So right now, why don't you at least try to look like you're serious about your job and look like work of the people and not look like a petulant child and swear her in? Because at the end of the day, because you've decided to avoid having us in session, we can't take a vote on a bill anyway.
Yeah, and the other thing is just bring back Congress into session. I can't figure out, it's very hard to tell because he does these press conferences every day, which sort of hits his talking points, says that he hasn't seen anything in the news, blames the Democrats. What the position is, he like doesn't want to bring you back from recess because then he has to swear in Grijalva, or he doesn't want to swear in Grijalva because he doesn't want to bring you back to, I don't know. But the point being, it's what, 9 weeks now? It's 1/10 of the term she was elected to will have been spent on ice.
Yeah.
Because Mike Johnson doesn't think anyone in the House of Representatives should work.
Yeah, it is absolutely astounding. And I want people to pay attention. When you go and you hit those booths come the midterms, think about which party decided that it was okay to literally be on vacation while it is that people were going hungry in the streets of America. This isn't about partisanship. Again, to me, I mean, like, it's really clear to me. We have over 40 million people in this country that are not going to be with their SNAP benefits because you have people that have decided that they believe that they are basically pawns in a game of chess. That is not what anyone should want from their elected officials, whether you are a SNAP recipient or otherwise. And the idea that we're still getting paid while we're telling air traffic controllers who are responsible for keeping planes and people safe that they're not getting checks, or while we're looking at TSA, which they tend to be some of our lowest paid federal employees, and tell them, oh, well, just keep showing up to work because if you go get another job, you're going to lose this job while we literally are not working. Make it make sense. And ultimately, I need everybody to just vote in their own best interest.
Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, thank you very much.
It is the Epstein shutdown. Let's be real. Donald Trump doesn't want us talking about Jeffrey Epstein. Donald Trump doesn't want Adelita Grijalva sworn in. Donald Trump doesn't want us to do anything but make sure that the government works to give billionaires tax cuts, fund his golf trips, and allow him to grift off his crypto scheme. Donald Trump wants to fundamentally change the way that you view government. That is so much a part of this shutdown as much as anything else does. Donald Trump wants you to think that the government, one, just doesn't work, and two, does not work for you. That it is about corporate socialism giving bailouts to AI. Sam Altman is already asking for the government to get involved in propping up a company that is doing irreparable damage to the environment of our country. These data centers sucking up water. Yeah, we give money to billionaires. That's what we do. And that's what Donald Trump wants you to think the government is all about. Billionaires and golf trips, which is why this post backfired. Trump lashes out at Democrats from golf course-bound motorcade amid shutdown chaos. Donald Trump lashed out at Democrats in a social media post sent as his motorcade carried him to his golf course and as the government shutdown caused chaos across the country. Trump has spent several days trying to deny that there is any problem with affordability after he and his party took a shellacking on Election Day, and his administration fights an order to pay SNAP benefits to 42 million Americans during the shutdown. And air travel. Air travelers have begun to experience delays due to a shutdown-related reduction in flights. The president has been encouraging Republicans in the Senate to end the shutdown by nuking the filibuster, which was the theme of an early morning Truth Social post that also addressed the election bloodbath in its own way. The Democrats are winning, and that they are destroying our great miracle economy, which is exactly what they set out to do. Terminate the filibuster, Trump wrote. The timestamp on Trump's post coincided with his trip to Trump International Golf Club. According to pool reports, Trump's golf outing comes hours after the Supreme Court granted a temporary stay of a lower court ruling that ordered the Trump administration to pay recipients of the Supplemental Nutritional Aid Program, SNAP, their full benefits. Let's be clear. Donald Trump is whining that Democrats are supposedly ruining his miracle economy, whatever that even means. It's certainly a miracle that he's managed to profit from insider trading. It's a miracle that he's driven inflation back up. And it's a miracle that the man who constantly promised lower prices has spent his time raising them instead. Last night, he and his administration were practically begging the Supreme Court to let them starve people, and this morning, he's back on Truth Social and golfing. Does this look like someone who cares about improving your life? Absolutely not. For the conservatives reading or commenting online, arguing that SNAP benefits are wasted on cookies or Dijon mustard, consider this. We're spending around $2 billion on Donald Trump's golf trips, and much of that money ends up directly in his pockets. He loves golfing at his own resorts because it's a profit-generating scheme for him using your money. So what's worse? A child getting a cookie, or a cognitively declining president enjoying all-day golf while personally profiting from your taxes? Trump doesn't care about affordability because he's wealthy and self-serving. Jen Psaki breaks this all down and explains why this is likely the beginning of the end for Trump's presidency in this clip right here.
A lot has happened this week, not just the Lincoln bathroom redo, as I mentioned with Chris, but I wanted to start our show tonight with two truths and a lie. I'm going to tell you about three news items, and you try to guess which one of them is a lie. And if you already know all these stories, don't tell your spouse or your friend sitting on the couch with you or whoever you may be watching this show with right now. Let them make their own guesses. Okay, so here's the first one. Trump-branded wine is now being sold tax-free at government-run stores. Okay, that's one of them. And number two, Trump's biggest political donor, the world's richest man, you may have heard of him, Elon Musk, is now on track to become the world's first trillionaire. And finally, number three, this year's Walmart Thanksgiving meal is cheaper because of how much more affordable things have become under Trump's presidency. Okay, take your guess, share with your neighbor, talk to your friend on the couch. Now, if you guessed Trump wine, unfortunately, that is in fact real. Trump wine is now being sold at Coast Guard-run military stores tax-free. Nothing sketchy about that at all. If you guessed Elon Musk, unfortunately, that too is also real. Despite Tesla's plunging sales, market share, and profits, and the general toxicity of Musk's personal brand these days, Tesla's shareholders voted yesterday to give Musk $1 trillion worth of stock over the next decade. Which brings me to the lie.
Mr. President, since you brought up the Walmart Thanksgiving meal, and it is cheaper, but it also contains less. As we're the
Well, I haven't heard that. You're telling me. Who are you with? Who are you with?
I'm with NBC News, sir.
Fake news. NBC. You're fake news.
That's right. The Walmart Thanksgiving meal that Trump has been touting as proof positive that he has made the country more affordable is cheaper this year because it has less stuff, like a lot less stuff. I mean, for days now, Trump has been pushing the fact that the pre-packaged Walmart Thanksgiving dinner is 25% cheaper than it was last year. But he has been conveniently ignoring the fact that this year's Walmart Thanksgiving package is missing a bunch of items it had last year, like onions, celery, sweet potatoes, chicken broth, seasoning, muffin mix, marshmallows, whipped topping, and pecan pie. I mean, those are all pretty key, delicious parts of Thanksgiving, right? The meal also downgraded certain items, like swapping Hawaiian rolls for cheaper dinner rolls. So yeah, surprise, surprise, his claim is completely misleading. But he was pushing this whole Thanksgiving meal narrative for a reason. I mean, since Democrats swept Tuesday's election, the right has all of a sudden woken up to America's affordability crisis. Fox News is even talking about how much prices have risen for consumers all across the country. Trump himself is even starting to talk about it.
It's no good if we do a great job and you don't talk about it. And I don't think they talk about it enough. You know, they have this new word called affordability, and they don't talk about it enough.
They already know they're going to lose these midterms. Donald Trump isn't actually focused on affordability. Sure, he says he is, but the reality is far different. The Republican takeaway from Tuesday: we just need to message better on affordability. Not change policy, not fix what's broken. They just need a better message. So don't expect them to actually adjust anything meaningful. They'll tweak their messaging, blame Democrats more, maybe target trans people again, even though that strategy failed in Virginia. But policy, real solutions, that's not on the table. What they will do is pursue exactly what Trump wants: voter reform and intimidation in big blue cities. He wants ICE. He wants the National Guard. He wants to scare people at the polls. It didn't work in California this time, but he'll keep trying. And we need to be ready. We need to call it out, and we certainly will on this show. If you want to support that, hit the subscribe button, leave a like, and if you stayed until the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I will see you soon.